Nice and comfy?
Do you have any rolls or anything weird happening?
No.
That's
and
exciting.
I'm recording, so I'm getting you seeing all of that.
That's fabulous. It's real, it's deep, and it's real. The sitting down and creating the roll is real. I am comfy. Thank you for asking.
So I just want to zoom in on that beautiful face of yours. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay. My name's Jennifer Fouché. I live in New York City. I'm an actor. I've been married for 15 years. And my husband and I have been together for 20. So.
And what do you do?
Well, I'm an actor. Yeah. So, theater and film as much as I can, and television, trying to. That's why you don't know me. I'm not famous yet. But anyway, yeah, so I'm very happy. I love living here. I love what I do. And my husband's very supportive, so yeah, I have a good life.
Do you guys have any children?
We do not.
Do you want children?
We do.
Have you, well, before you guys got married, did you discuss having children?
Oh yes. And my husband has a brother and a sister, and I remember when we were first dating, and he said, it might be kind of nice eventually, if we had 4 or 5 kids. And I used to joke and say, well, that's great. I will give you 2. I'll give birth twice, and then you get the other ones the best way you know how. I won't ask you any questions. You bring them home. It's fine, And when we met and married, I was in the music industry. So I changed careers several years ago, but I was in the music industry. I was busy, obviously, trying to carve my way through there. And so we didn't get married until I was 29, almost 30 when we got married. And we didn't want to have children right away, which was fine with us. Then I went through a time period where the state of the world was troubling to me. And so I didn't want children because I thought, what are we birthing them into? My husband made a valid point. He said, since the beginning of time, people have said that. State of the world, what are we birthing our children into? Okay, that's fair. But I was still a little bit on the fence about it. And then a few years ago, I was on the train. I was, I think it was maybe the D train or something. So I feel like I got off at Columbus Circle, but anyway. And there was a little girl on the train who couldn't have been more than 3 years old. And she was gorgeous, and I don't know if she looked like she may have been Puerto Rican or Dominican. She was lovely. She was just a lovely little girl. And I just say that because I just remember she was a little brown child. And we ended up striking up a game of peekaboo, which, I looked up from a book or a script or something I was reading, and I saw her looking at me. So when I saw her, she smiled, and I, went back to my book, and then I'd look up. Yeah. We played that game. And she's giggling and laughing, and our mother is excited and happy, I'm sure, because she's quiet and content, just having a good time, very contained and entertained in that one little seat. And it just made my day, So I get off the train, and as it's leaving, she starts waving. I didn't think. Anyway.
Right.
And because that was the first time I felt empty. I felt empty, like it felt not empty, unfulfilled in my life. I felt physically, my womb felt empty. I did not expect this to make me feel this way. Anyway, and that's when I realized I want a baby. I want a baby, and then I went home and told my husband. I was like, okay, so so we should do this. And then I started booking gigs out of town. And it's hard to have sex and make a baby when you're out of town. and you're not both out of town. So then there was that. Um, then it was awesome. Then we were trying, but like an idiot, because I hadn't thought about, I didn't have children, never tried to make a baby before. So I figured, it's probably best if we were having sex while I was ovulating. I mean, who thought about it, right? We just, just have sex. You hear so much, people from our mother's generation, what? You have sex, you have a baby, right? I mean, they're all married by 19, so I guess it probably makes a difference. And in any case, and so it was, life got in the way in terms of timing. Like, we have very different schedules, and it might sound lame to somebody who's trying to have a baby, but that's very real. My husband's a morning person. He has a 9-to-5 job. He he has, the really grown folks job in the family, and, and for the first several years of our marriage, when I decided to become an actor and I moved to New York, then we were separated by circumstance because the school I wanted to go to was here, and he was still in Cincinnati, which is where we were at the time. And then he got transferred to Louisville. He was still there. Then the economy tanked and he couldn't find a job here for 3 years. So then we were separated again, like we'd see each other when we could, but it was difficult because he was the breadwinner supporting 2 households 3 states away, and I was working in the costume department at my school, and then after that I was busy working as an actor, but I was at that point where you're still not getting paid a whole lot. You're working all the time, but I wasn't union yet, and so the paycheck didn't match. I wasn't doing film, in terms of match the amount of work that I was actually doing. It was that thing, it was that broke ass artist thing, and fortunately I was married. And had lots of help, and that's never lost on me that I'm so blessed in that way, In any case, but he was wonderful, but he wasn't here, and we definitely didn't want to start a family in a circumstance like that where the finances were being, I don't want to say drained, but prioritized. The priority was putting them towards my career and getting it together,
Did you ever think about putting your career on pause and going back to be with him and starting a family?
I did, and my husband said no. He said, if that's really what you want to do, that's fine. He said, but if you're doing it because money's tight, I don't care that money's tight. He said, I made you a promise when we met and when we married, you never have to be anything but an artist. And I intend to keep that promise, and he's always kept it. And the thing is that what people who may not be able to be about the industry, but it's very, you start to make strides in this industry before your actual bank account reflects where the levels that you progress to in any kind of significant way. So he said, you're making headway, and he was right, and I was. And it was career number 2 for me. I didn't go to drama school till I was 34. And